This is Tim Maxwell with Shoot Straight. It's our first recording or second recording, but nonetheless, here we are. This is my guest, Alex Resendiz.
Yes, sir.
And what he would like to talk about today is letting go. So we'll go ahead and allow him to lead us into conversation that he would like to have.
Alrighty. Again, everyone, welcome into the Mr. Tim Maxwell Shoot Straight podcast. First podcast for myself. No, Tim's done one prior to this one, so he might have a little bit more experience on me than I will.
Yeah.
So I think the topic we picked was letting go, right?
Yep.
Which was a topic because we can use it not only professionally but personally, right? There's a lot, my opinion, right? There's a lot of things or a lot of times where we do things and we hold things because of what someone else did, whether it's at work. And I can vouch, I got some OE with work related and personal where, there is an individual that I lost trust because for whatever reason, right? And I wouldn't let go of that thing. So there was a wall barrier, I should say, right?
Right.
And, as soon as you learn how to let things go, and example for worker or coworker, you open up new doors and new ways to get along with different people, right? And now, we have a good standing relationship, and that just goes from a work perspective. Personally, same thing. There's been times where people have done things in the past to us, and we can't seem to let it go because of whatever reason, whether it was hurt, whether it was something they did, to you or others, and you saw it, and we choose not to let it go. But once you realize that, hey, you know what, just let things go. Sometimes it's like I feel like it's like a I don't know what do you want to call it. I think you used the word baggage,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Carrying a bag of the black bag stuff that we don't need to be carrying with us, right? And when you learn how to let go, it seems like like you definitely left some weight off your shoulders,
Right.
So
Yeah, when we let go of drama or past, what are some of the ways that you might let go? When you say we could talk about how or when we let go, this is what happens, but what are some of the ways that you end up letting go of certain things? How do you come to the conclusion that it's like, you know what, I just need to let go of that? What does that look like?
I think for myself personally, it's been on multiple occasions was maybe the individual that did something that I was letting go wasn't looking at the situation the same way I was, right? His mind process was different than mine was. So I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? Maybe this individual didn't really do this maliciously or intentionally this way because he thought that was going to affect me in this type of way. And knowing that hey, everyone's mind's different, everyone's process thinks different.
I don't think it was recording.
Fuck.
Ah, that's still
Oh,
recording.
damn.
Anyway, we'll have some editing today.
Oh man.
But we're all good. That's good, because the thing was that I needed to know that. I didn't see this running,
Yeah.
so that made me go that route.
Okay.
Okay, so just so me and you both know, we got to click that as well as the red button up there.
So both at the same both.
Yeah, this one and that one.
Okay.
Okay, so great. You're doing freaking great, man. I love it.
Thank you.
So we're gonna do it again, but think about what you've done.
Yeah.
That you're like, fuck, I wish I would change it. You're having these meta conversations, right?
Yeah.
So think about those metas and what would you do differently. So I'm gonna start again because there was some shit that I'd like to have done differently.
Yeah.
And we'll go into it again. You good with that?
Yep.
Okay. So we're still gonna shoot for somewhere around 30 minutes.
Okay.
In the conversation.
Yep.
But we're learning.
Mm-hmm.
Just be open to learning, okay?
Yes, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. This is Tim Maxwell with Shoot Straight, where we sit and talk about things that are on our minds that need to be real, real and raw. The whole idea behind Shoot Straight is that we don't want to pretend. We don't want to think that we just come on here and say the things that make people happy. It's truly coming on here, being honest with ourselves, being honest with you, and allowing other people to go on the journey with us. And hopefully you'll get some answers to things that you're going through or you might be struggling with, or hey, you want to reach out to my podcast or our podcast, and maybe you can be the lucky person that gets to be on it. So with me today is Alex Resendiz. Howdy, Alex. And Alex has a topic that he would like to cover today. We'll go from there. So, what you got, Alex?
Well, thanks, Tim, for having me on again. Again, this is my first podcast, so not a pro by no means. Mr. Maxwell and I are working here on trying to establish some sort of podcast thing going on, right? So, nevertheless, topic that we discussed was letting go, right? Letting go. Reason for was there's times where we hold grudges, we hold back on progressing or doing specific things, whether it's work related, whether it's personally with their family, friends, whatsoever. So letting go of things, right? I think I shared a couple of the experiences that we had with individuals, whether it's at home or at work, was they did or said something that lost trust right in between us. So at that point, my mind at the time was like, oh man, I got to put a barrier wall because I can't trust this dude. He did this and did that. I can't trust him. I got to set that wall barrier right. After a while, started thinking and realized that after it takes time when I guess you mature and grow up and meet individuals, certain with the same circumstances, you start realizing that hey, maybe this individual didn't mean it that way. Maybe this individual meant it a different way, but at that time in my mind, I'm looking at it as, oh no, this guy's trying to screw me,
Right.
So not letting go for whether it was 6 months, a year, or whatever, it can. It's time that we'll never get back, right? There's time that you'll never get back, and it's pretty much a waste of time when you're not letting things go because you could have done great things together. You could have, got over it. You know what? All right, dude. Hey, what's up? Yeah, let's go grab a beer, whatever the case is,
Right.
and moved on, and and had better memories versus, versus not letting go and staying in the same dark place. I should say,
Sure.
with those individuals.
Yeah. Yeah, and we do that to ourselves constantly, is because we don't choose to go confront
Yeah.
whatever it is that's happening. We choose to create this dialogue or situation in our head where it might be true and it might not be true, but until we actually muster up the courage that it takes to go ask that question of, hey, is this the way that really happened, or is this the way you intended for that to happen? Until we get there, it's going to be whatever story we tell ourselves. So we ended up dragging around this bag full of drama, and we don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the only way we're truly going to let go is by confronting it head on, so that we know the true answer. Whether the person tells us a lie or not, that's completely on them.
Yeah.
But at least we've got out of our head and asked that question. How do you let go of things that have like really been around for a long time, like it's part of you, or it's became part of you, and you just really had to do some hard work to get rid of it? What are some of the things that you've had to go through?
I think, in order for me, it just my personal opinion, my personal experience, Tim, as far as letting some things go, is that's helped me out through the process is meeting people with similar experience, right? Similar situations. They've gone through similar situations. They, hey, I did this way, and I did that, and maybe this and that. And then you start gets me thinking, like, you know what, maybe this individual's right. Maybe I need to start looking at it that way. The way they're looking at it, outside the box versus inside of the box, right? And I think for me, that I guess other people's experience is what I'm trying to get at, is what's helped me out, I believe.
Sure.
From learning from others.
Yeah. I know for me, I've had to actually go to people that, like you're saying, have wisdom, have experience, have life traumas, or whatever the case may be, because it's not normal that we just go talk to people about these things.
Correct.
And until we find some level of empathy, right? Somebody that truly cares about whether I'm going to be better or worse when they leave, do I find where I could actually have a conversation and be vulnerable? Is being vulnerable something that you're used to or you're not used to?
I'd say no. I'm aware of it, but I say no because I think I can speak for a lot of us. In general, population is sometimes we're I guess afraid of being judged, right? Or hey, what is this individual going to say if I say this or do this? For whatever reason, which it shouldn't matter, right? In reality, it shouldn't matter. We're all human. We're not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone's got different goals in lives, and everyone has different points of views. Something that we got to understand as humans, right? That we don't all think alike. Right. There's times where, when you're young and more immature, you seem to think that everyone's gonna think the same way. But once you get older, you learn from others, and you learn from your own mistakes. I think you learn the fact that everyone's different, right? Everyone likes to be talked a certain way. Everyone understands and takes things in a different way than everybody else.
Correct. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but here recently, you went through a process where you actually learned a little bit about yourself. I think you referred to it as a disc assessment that kind of allowed you to understand more of who you are as a human being. How did that lend to letting go when you started learning who the people were that worked with and for and around you? How did that show any type of alignment or any type of answers as to why people acted or worked the way they did?
I'd say for sure, 100% agree. Yeah. Before the disc chart came out and looked at everyone's, or we talked about everyone's, D's and I's and CNS's. I guess I kind of had an idea just from my perspective as far as what I thought of individuals, right? Each individual, as far as their demeanor, how they carry themselves. When the chart came out, it was kind of like, okay, I see why this person is acting, is this way. I see why this person is that way. To tie them all into different categories, sure. And I think we discussed a little bit about it a couple weeks ago. Was especially, and I guess we talked about it was in a leadership role. But I guess it's not only leadership role, but in general life as well. Being able to maneuver around those four items, right, for the sure. All different personalities, it's a huge, big thing for leadership, and not only leadership, but in general population out here with us, because we're able to navigate through different people, different ways, right? And sure. It goes back to the same thing again. Everyone's got a different mindset, different process, the way they take things in, the way they like to be talking to, the way they like to hear people speak. It's a neat thing, to be able to learn that portion of it.
Sure. Yeah, and I know I've done those disc assessments in the past, and what it truly lends to is becoming empathetic to how somebody else needs to hear, see, or feel once you're done communicating with them. Not sympathetic, but empathetic, like true, I care about how this person receives that information and what it's done for me in my past, when I've definitely been the person that didn't care, but once I started caring, then I could start truly dumping out my black bag and letting go of a bunch of drama. Becoming that chameleon is what I believe you're referencing, where
yeah.
you kind of gotta play different roles all the time because you're communicating with different people. So when you talk about your bag and letting go, what advice or what not advice, but what life situation or life experience do you have that would help other people understand how you used it?
I guess I talked about it a little bit, but there is, I'll use a work-related one. One was experience was, with the individual, there was that barrier for 6 months or whatever it was, because of whatever reason, for them not letting go of what had happened, right? And after that, it was more of a, hey, now we're texting over the weekend, we're BSing through, not only throughout the week, but through the weekend as well, constantly, right? And now, and my mind is like, crap, you know, we wasted time, right? There was time wasted on nothing, literally. There was no need for us to be in that barrier mode with individuals because we could have been having a good time with that individual 6 months ago, But again, wasting that time, being, I guess, knowledgeable that time is something we can never get back, right?
Okay.
Wasting time, I guess, something that no one can stop, right? No money, no power, nobody can stop the time that we have left on this earth. So I think that was a big eye opener for me, right? That time is not something that we want to play with,
Right.
If it's pretty much, if it's not worth, wasting our time on something negative, don't do it. It's hard. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it by no means. I'm still learning process of it, but I think it's achievable, little by little, and I think we're getting better with it.
Yeah. No, letting go of stuff. It's not. Sometimes in the Bible they talk about forgiving,
Mm-hmm.
right? How do we forgive? Why forgive? You forget, and it's like, well, some people can't forget, and
Yeah.
that's a given. But forgiving, true forgiveness comes for you. It's not necessarily for anybody else, but it comes for you so that you can stop dragging around that black bag of drama, of let it go and just be okay. I know myself, I ask God for forgiveness, but I'm not necessarily quick to give other people forgiveness when I feel like they've wronged me. But for me to have a true great life moving forward or good life moving forward, I have to let go of these things because other than that, if I don't, then it just truly directs my path. It directs how I move throughout the day and what my attitude's going to be and what it can be that day, what I want it to be. I don't always make the right choice every day, but definitely get better the more aware of it that I am. So,
And,
yeah,
and, and that's part of maturing, I guess, in a specific way, right? I mean, we, especially us men, right? We seem to lack the matureness sooner than women do, for the most part. I think that's something that helps us, be better, right? We learn from our own mistakes. When you learn from your own mistakes, there's still people out there that will, still late 40s, late 50s, and still not learning, right? But I think learning from our own mistakes, maturing, which involves letting go of things, right, and understanding that we're wasting precious time that we're never going to get back.
that's right.
Understanding that we're wasting that time and making an effort of, trying to be positive about the situations, even though when the situation is negative, letting go of things, people that did things to you, whether it was childhood, growing up, as an adult, whatever the case is. I think just trying to be better, just trying, we're moving ahead, and I think would be in a lot better place.
Yeah.
Not only with ourselves, but with others around us.
Yep. And that's why we started this shoot straight thing was to just make more people aware of who we are and what we're trying to achieve here with being more open and honest about moving forward in our lives. I've seen a lot of growth out of you in the last 5 years. I know where we started at and where we're at now, and I'm super proud of who you are and how far you've come. Because I can tell your black bag has got
Oh
a
yeah.
lot lighter over the years, and I'm happy for you because that's tough. It's tough letting that go, but it takes a lot of work on yourself.
Yeah.
When we're not letting go, we're actually blaming other people for the life that we live or what we have or what we're doing and so on and so forth. And it's like, it's not their issue, it's our issue because we won't look internally
Yeah.
to fix things. We want external fixes to fix the things that's happening internally. And all I've learned in the past, I don't know, 10 years, basically, once I started looking at myself, is that I have to be the change I want to see. And if I don't change me, there's no way I can help other people achieve the things that they want to achieve. So I think it takes a lot of work to, I don't think it is, I know it takes a lot of work to truly work on you first and become an authentic you, not a dressed up version, but an authentic you for people to truly see who you are so that you're not treated in a way that you're not meant to be. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
Yeah.
we put on all these different masks of control freaks and martyrs and I'm the greatest and people pleasing and all this stuff. And the reality of it is that nobody gets the authentic you.
Yeah.
So when you say, well, this is who I am, from an authentic space, people are looking at you and you're getting what they're seeing,
Understand. Yeah.
not who you truly are. So when you're getting who they're seeing, it keeps compounding the problem that you're already
Yeah.
experiencing with those people because you're not being authentic.
And you brought up a good point right now, right? About sometimes we want to blame others and try to find the mistakes in somebody else to try to I guess cover ours, right? To not realize that, hey, we need to fix ourselves first before we start fixing everyone around us. And I said we're human, we're not perfect by no means, but I think sometimes we fall in that trap of, hey, no, that person needs to fix themselves first before I fix myself, But in reality, we need to concentrate on ourselves. And like you said, it's a hard thing to do. It's not something easy, something that we can just pull out of a bag and say, you know what, yep, we're gonna do this and we're good. It takes time. It's a progress that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, and I think little by little, anybody can do it.
Sure. And listen, it's not going to be no overnight success story that you let go. It's going to take time, but it's going to take understanding, and you have to be willing to put in the work that it takes to get there. Most of us are dealing with so many different traumas that we either do or don't know about. That's happened in our past as little kids, as middle teenagers, and so on and so forth. We're dealing with a lot of traumas from there that are driving a lot of the decisions that we're making right now. But it's more from a place of, I'm going to protect me. So this bag that I got that's plumb full of drama, is what I'll call it, that we can't let go of, is based on all these things that may have taken place when we were younger. So we put up all these walls like you were talking about, and I call them masks because the mask is who you get to see. So we create this ego, right? And the ego says I'm a tough guy, or I'm a know-it-all, or I'm a whatever, right? But there's something driving that even. So when you tell the whole wide world, I'm an egotistical control freak, that's how you're going to get fed. People are going to mirror what you give them. There's very few people who can see through that and be like, no, that's a solid dude that really loves, really cares, but he won't let nobody see him because the scars, the hurt, the whatever the case may be. So we turn into these control freaks, and we turn into this bag full of crap, right? But in time, once we start working on ourselves, like we talked about, once you start working on those things and change some of your belief systems, then we could start unloading that black bag.
Yeah, and like you said, that black bag full of whatever it is, experiences, traumas, and whatsoever. I think a lot of us hold it and keep that bag with us because we know what that felt like, right? Whether it was whatever the case was, we know, hey, I got a package in this bag for this trauma or drama, whatever the case was, and this happened. So we seem to keep that in the bag because we know what that was, we know what that felt like. So now we have it in there, holding on to it because we don't want to feel that again. We don't want to go through that again, right?
Right.
I think a lot of people go through that, but it's not something that I guess we like to talk about, right? And
That's
I'm
right.
sure it's not easy for people to you know to share things, especially with
Sure.
childhood traumas or whatever the case is. I think a lot of people want to hang on to those things, to
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely correct. I've done it. I mean, we've all done it, but I'm a control freak. I've been a control freak pretty much my whole life. Um, it's based on the idea of, well, if I'm not in control, if I don't show the people around me that I'm in control, they can trust me, they need to follow me, so on and so forth. If I don't show that, they're going to leave me. I'm going to be abandoned.
Yeah.
I'm going to be left on my own. Where does that come from? It's like go all the way back to childhood school where, oh, you're not even picked for anything. You're not chosen for anything. You're left behind. Oh, well, you can stay here. We're all going to go do this or that. As a kid, as a brother, as a whatever, it's constant in your life, and it controls a piece of who you are moving forward because we put things in place automatically to counter that feeling so we don't have that feeling again. So absolutely control freak, some levels of martyr, the victim thing, so on and so forth, whatever it took for people to keep all eyes on me because I didn't want to feel abandoned anymore. I didn't want to feel like I wasn't good enough anymore. So that's how things show up in our lives. And when we talk about our black bag, right? Well, how much is getting deposited in the black bag when you're showing the whole wide world you're a control freak
Yeah.
and a victim? Yeah. So you get treated exactly how you present yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, whatever you give, you get back, right?
That's right.
With individuals, and sadly, sometimes not letting go of things makes us um, um, give out negative vibes, negative comments, negative stuff,
Sure.
judging others for not letting go of specific things, and that comes back in the same way to us, right? Because it's what we're giving out.
Right. Right. No, it's great. Great conversation.
But I think overall, I mean, if you really think about it, right? Letting go of things, what's it gonna hurt? What's it gonna? It's not gonna. It's not gonna make you any less of a man. It's not gonna make you anything else, right? You're just letting go of something internally. Whether it's feelings, physically, you're just letting go of things, and you're not gonna lose anything from doing it, But sometimes, as us men, especially, our ego side gets caught in it, and we don't want to let it go.
That's right.
We don't want to go because of our ego portion, or our afraidness of judgment from others, or hey, this person might think this guy's being a little whatever for sharing this, So, but I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, man. You're just letting go. You're just doing yourself a favor. You're making yourself. You're setting yourself free of a lot of things that don't need to be there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, it becomes part of our identity. Why is Alex pissed? Well, something that happened 3 years ago. Oh, he shit on me, or he did me wrong, or he whatever. Well, the guy don't even know that he did you wrong. So how did he do you wrong? So great conversation.
Right,
So,
and it helps, not only with work related, but at home too, right? With your spouse, at least, from my personal experience, same thing, right? I've learned how to let go of specific things that I would think it would bother me, right? And well, I know they bother me, but it shouldn't have because it was minor stuff that was dumb, you know. But the minute I said, you know what, I'm going to let this go, there's no need for me to try to control this portion because I don't need to, right? It just makes you free. It sets you free. It sets you. I don't. It's like this satisfying feeling, I should say,
Sure.
where I'm not worried about this no more. We're good.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep doing that, and try to change this and change that. And I think it just helps us and in general be a better person.
Yeah.
Feel better about yourself.
Well, and we get to go from being bitter to better.
Exactly.
And we get to be
Exactly.
free, and people aren't so scared to approach you.
Yep.
You become more approachable because you're not dragging around this drama,
Yeah.
and they can be more honest with you, and you can be more honest with them. So it's all things that we tend to overlook in life is how approachable are we? What do we do to help others know who we are? But truly letting go of whatever.
Yeah.
Take your pick on the subject. How are you letting go? What do you need to do to let go of something? It doesn't mean give it all up immediately, but it does say, hey, man, start using your muscle that says let go. Even if it's just 1%, just let go of something that has been just dragging you down. If you have the opportunity, give it to God. Let God decide what you need to be controlling and what you need not. Because at the end of the day, He is the guy. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr.
Yep.
Resendiz.
Anytime.
Great conversation. Of course, I'm proud of you as always.
Thank you.
You've
Thank
done
you.
a great job over time. Been mentoring Alex for about the last 5 years, and there's super proud of where this young man has gone.
Hasn't been an easy road, but it's been bumpy.
But I'd do it again in a minute. It's worth seeing him let go of all that drama. I could see the true smile on his face. And before we get out of here, I just want to say, people can read you. People know when you're being authentic and when you're not. If you want to truly test whether you're being authentic or not, just go ask some people. Just go ask some people if you truly let go of something that you had in the back of your bag with them, a beef you had, a challenge you had, a whatever. Your challenge is to go to that person and say, hey, do you believe me when I say I have let go of that? If they have any salt about them, they will give you honest feedback. And I wish you all the joy in the world with that one. With that being said, this has been Shoot Straight. Thank you again, Alex.
Yep.
And we will look forward to talking to y'all again. Please go to Shoot Straight and give us a like or follow us. We appreciate you, and we look forward to talking to you again. Thank you.
And if there's a specific topic they want to talk about, Tim, go ahead and bring it up, right?
Yeah, please.
More than
do.
happy to address it.
Please put it in the comments below or whatever the case may be, and we'll be more than happy to have a conversation around it. If we can, we might even bring you on and let you talk about it with us.
There you go.
Other than that, you good?
I'm good.
All right. Y'all have a great day.